starting. Okay, so welcome to Arthur's Roundtable, episode 5.
5? Oh, I've missed 2? Darn. Sorry.
So, joining me this week is Neville. Neville, say hello.
Super Neville.
Oh, say hi. And my sister, Abigail.
Way cooler than anyone else, obviously.
So,
And he's back. Cats like me.
it's Neville.
Generally.
He's curious about what's going on always. He's the my co-host, so to speak, for the.
He's probably more popular than you are.
Not yet, but it won't take long.
If he would meow into that thing, he would be so popular.
Yeah, but he never meows.
Really?
Just sniffing. Yeah, he
Never.
never. He's a very quiet kitty, thank goodness. Except for when he runs across the house.
Lizzie's cat is not. She is the loudest cat, which is funny because she's supposed to be a secret cat.
All right, you'll have to explain a little bit more for my listeners. Then.
Okay, so I go to UTC, and I live in the residence halls, not dorms, but residence halls. And one of my roommates last year had a really, really rough couple of weeks, and so she decided that she wanted to get a cat. But we're not technically allowed to have cats on campus, so it had to be a secret cat. And she promised that, like, if we got caught, she would pay the fine or whatever. But she picked the loudest cat possible. Like, it meows all the time. And it would get, like, it wasn't a problem really where we lived last year, but this year she brought it back. And it would get, like, in between their blinds and the window and just, like, stare at people as they walked past. And no. Good
Yay
times.
for cats.
Yeah. Her name is Puddles. The cat's name is Puddles.
Puddles.
Yes.
Where
adorable.
Where did she get Puddles?
I don't know. She had like 2 or 3 different options, which I now don't remember what the other options were, but I really liked one of the other ones. It was like Zoe or something, like a real person name. But she really liked the name Puddles, so she went with the name Puddles.
Okay, so I'm looking for something. All right.
My name is Abigail, by the way. You just introduced me as your sister.
I thought I said Abigail. My bad.
Well, at least I don't think you said my name.
Well,
I'm just so cool. Everyone should know my name, I guess.
twice, 3 times, however many times we say it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I typically do a fun fact about whoever's my guest. So,
AKA me.
yes, this week that would be you. So if you'll give my viewers / listeners a fun fact about yourself.
So many options. A fun fact. We were just talking about this the other day about fun facts. Because I generally just go with the fact that I'm left-handed, but I feel like that's not fun enough in this situation. We could talk. Fun fact is that I am a charter member of Gamma Phi Beta at UTC.
What chapter is that?
We are Eta Kappa
Eta
chapter.
Kappa.
And we now have spirit jerseys. So I thought that the spirit jersey thing was going to be like a sweatshirt thing that was like nice and warm for for the winter time. It turns out it's basically just a large long sleeve t-shirt, except it's not a fitting t-shirt. Like, it's just big, but it's as thin as a t-shirt is, so that's kind of lame. But it says Gamma Phi Beta Eta Kappa in huge letters, and it's pretty cute, but so that was disappointing. That's okay.
Well, that makes me think of kind of a fun fact. I was in Phi Mu Alpha that I joined.
Yeah, we have a chapter of that at
yes,
UTC.
You do. I've known a few people to be brothers down there.
Yeah.
And but I joined at University of Evansville and of course transferred over to Austin P. But the reason I say fun fact is our dad was also a member of Phi Mu Alpha.
Yeah.
But I didn't find that out until I was
After
joining. I was like, what? Really? So technically I'm a legacy?
What? I'm a legacy of Delta Delta Sigma, a not real sorority.
Non-existent.
At least not that I know of, unless it's been created since
our
whenever
mom
she
and
was in
her group of
college.
friends made it up in college.
Yeah.
Well, not intentionally copying another
Yeah.
sorority.
It's all good.
Okay, so you're in school.
Yeah.
You're studying,
Business, general management. So I'm gonna be a
and
business person.
unlike
All official.
the rest of our family and getting useless bachelor's degrees, you're trying to get something useful.
Something I can actually use.
Yeah. So, what are you wanting to do with it?
Okay, ideally, I want to be an event planner. I think that'd be really fun. Ideally, a wedding planner. I think that'd be super fun. But I'm good with pretty much any events. It just kind of depends on what opportunities arise in the next couple of years, especially internship-wise, because that's where a lot of the like focus is now. Is like if you don't get an internship, then you just fail at the whole college thing.
Yes, I can vouch for that because I didn't even bother. I should have, but I learned that, post graduation.
Oh, I'm missing Downton Abbey. I thought it started at 9. Apparently, it starts at 8.
It's like 2
Oh, well.
hours long, isn't it?
It depends on the episode. Sometimes, like, I think the first one was 2 hours, but now I think they're only like an hour and a half or something. I don't know. Oh, well.
I have not.
Okay.
I can't say I've watched an entire episode of that. So
Yeah, it's just one of those things you get hooked. So, like, I started
Well,
watching
it's
it, and now I just
B-
can't
that's-
stop.
that's BBC for you. They make some good stuff. I think there's
Yeah, they do.
another show I have not watched, but apparently there's another episode of it tonight. Is Sherlock.
Oh my god, it's so good. It's
Well,
so
yeah. It
good.
doesn't surprise me considering it is also ran by Stephen Moffat.
It's so amazing. I don't even know who that is, but it's just so
Stephen
good.
Moffat's the guy who is currently in charge of Doctor Who.
Oh,
I think his official credit is showrunner, which is a really odd credit in my opinion. Like, I mean, it makes sense because it's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, he's in charge, but
yeah.
I mean, you never see that like on American television, showrunner.
No.
I mean, you have producers and executive producers.
I don't know. Yeah, like I just can't, but I can't even watch like Elementary on whatever, is that NBC or no, CBS or something?
I have no idea.
I don't remember which one it's on, but I like can't even watch it because it's just not as good as Sherlock. Just so amazing. BBC just gets it right every time.
So, to kind of the few viewers / listeners that I have that at this point are kind of going, wait a second, your sister's still in college. That's because you're 9 years younger than me.
A little bit younger.
Almost a decade.
Almost. But we'll never quite make it to a decade apart. We're stuck at 9 years.
Yeah, it's not changing ever.
Yeah.
But, so we definitely, growing up High Neville again, we definitely spent a fair amount of growing up apart.
Yeah.
Because I basically moved out. I was gone when I was 18. And
So I would have
you
been
were,
9.
Yeah, and you were 9.
No.
So
Right around that age, that would have started becoming friction. You were just like, see ya.
yeah, and I never visited for very long. Mostly because I wasn't too far up the road. So I'd,
Yeah. Not,
come home for a weekend here and there once I got older.
yeah.
And kind of work things out with the parents.
Yeah. I mean, it's been nice, though. I feel like we get along really well, though.
Yeah,
Like,
I feel like it's...
Since we never really... I don't feel like we ever had, like, major fights like a lot of siblings do.
No. I think partly because I was not heavily involved, like, during your high school years.
Yeah.
I mean, it was...
You weren't there for me.
There at the beginning of your senior year was when I had moved back in,
Yeah.
and so.
But by
Oh.
then, we were both mature, so we could get along without I don't know. About not getting along.
I'm trying to think. Anything in the news that you've seen that you would like to talk about?
In the news. Oh, because I watch the news all the time. Like every day. No. It's okay. It's really been. That's one thing that I kind of sort of miss from being at home, like as to opposed to being at college, is I never just sit down and watch the news anymore, ever. Because in our family, you always watch it during dinner, like
Yeah,
5:30, it's on the news, no
yeah,
matter
yeah.
what.
Very. I mean, from when I was
Just
pretty young,
always.
is yeah, sit down and watch the news with dinner, and then in the later years, it was sit down and watch the news.
Dinner, then
Like,
Jeopardy.
yeah, like the news was already on when we sat down, and that would roll into watching
Jeopardy.
Jeopardy.
Yep.
Hence why I have tried out to go on Jeopardy this year. It's my second attempt, and I
One
will.
day you'll make
Oh,
it.
I will keep trying until I either cannot try or I make it.
Yeah, I saw your post and I was like, oh, I never registered for that. But I feel like we all know that I just wouldn't make it, especially not right now. Like, even if I passed that test, like, if I got to like the next round or whatever, then they'd be like, nope, she's dumb.
I don't know. You don't know if you don't try. I I think I maintain, I should say, that you should try out when it comes time for
The
a
college tournament.
tournament. Yeah.
Because I only have hopefully 2.5 more years to be eligible for that.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I think you can get away with it if you're under the age of like 24 and you're pursuing a master's,
Oh, yeah.
like up through that.
Yeah, I still can't decide if I want to even like apply for graduate school. It's just so there's the standardized test that I have to take that's like $100,
Is
and
it the GRE
yeah, I think that's what it
to get
is.
into a master's program?
And because I was thinking about okay, whenever I was a senior in high school, I was very ambitious, and so I applied to Yale and Harvard, and then UTC. And didn't get into Yale or Harvard, obviously, and went to UTC. And so I was thinking about applying to Yale for like masters, but apparently, actually, most of the people that go like to get their masters, and most people now like wait and they have like 3 or 4 years job experience, and then their job will pay them to go back and get a master's.
That I was about to say.
And so
that.
that's kind of nice. And so like just in general, they even said we only take a handful of like college grads into the program, and so it's kind of like, is it worth it? Just wait.
My recommendation would, and I know I've told you, I'm gonna kind of back up, is to hammer on getting an internship before you graduate.
Yeah.
And if you can somehow work more than one into
The problem
into your
is getting all these people are like, I got this internship, but none of them. Well, there's tons of internships available within like the business school in general. The problem is trying to find one that has to do exactly with what I want to do, because a bunch of them are just like basic, like really general stuff, or like just management or just marketing, like not event planning and not like super great stuff. And so that's why like I really want to do that Disney internship. That would be my dream one. But
So have you?
I haven't applied yet, because I need to look more into like making sure that I'm applying for the one that I want. Because there's just like the general college one that I could probably make it into without too much of a problem. Especially apparently they do like a phone interview, since I'm in Tennessee and they're in Florida,
Right.
and I've been told to not say that I'd be willing to work in food services, because then you'll automatically get a place, but you will be working in food services.
Yeah, you don't
So-
want, and you don't want that.
And that would definitely not have anything to do with what I want to do. But they have professional ones for like juniors and seniors that like they try and match it to with what your major is. And I'm pretty sure at one time I saw one that was like that there is an internship with their wedding planning people, because like there are people at Disney who just plan Disney weddings, so it's like, obviously extravagant themed weddings because Disney is extremely, it's going to be expensive and crazy, but like, and you have all of the resources of Disney at your fingertips, so that has to be really cool. And so I just feel like that'd be really awesome just to even like be there and like see them doing that, witness it.
Yep. Neville's over here about to mess. Oh, now he's biting. Oh, lick.
Can't
You
decide.
have claws dug into my hand, and you're licking me. No. For my listeners that can't see this, I'm sorry. My
Because he's
cat
adorable.
is hurting me and not hurting me all at the same time.
Oh, is that a bite?
Oh, that was a bite. Oh, it's not the bites that hurt. It's the claws.
It's claws.
Um, but yeah, so like I said, try getting an internship. Yeah, it sounds like Disney one would be really cool. I mean, that's that's a name that anybody recognizes. You say, I interned with Disney, especially like if you're able to back it up and say, I interned with like the event coordinators,
Yeah.
or something like that. Not just,
Yeah, and I'm
well, I
also
was stuck in food services.
I'm also hoping that like maybe this summer, because I've officially I think decided that I'm not going back to being a camp counselor because I feel like I think it was good on the resume, but I feel like that I need to start going more in the direction that I want to go. Man, you're really doing a great job, Neville. And so Lizzie says Lizzie also wants to be an event planner, and so she's thinking about trying to get a job at like a bridal shop or like some sort of little place that at least kind of has to do with like the direction that she's trying to head. And so there's that.
She has a similar major, correct?
Yeah, she's a marketing major, which technically, like, if you went into advisement and you said, I want to be a wedding planner, what should I major in? They would say marketing. And the only reason I didn't major in marketing was because Mackenzie, who's my best friend, her mom majored in marketing. And she told me, like, right before I was going into school, that she was like, if I could go back, I would change it to management. Because she said when she got out of school, all of the management majors were, like, eligible for, like, all of these jobs and her jobs, but she was only eligible for the marketing jobs. And so it kind of really narrowed her down and, like, set her back, I guess, a little bit. And so,
well, I mean, like I have kind of experienced that. I mean, obviously I don't have a job utilizing my communications degree other than doing stuff like this, which I'm not making a penny off of right now.
eventually, someday.
But getting my I don't regret getting my communications degree. More so for me, I regret not getting an internship, and but it is interesting to see what degrees like which the different degrees that people have been able to roll out of college and get jobs.
Yeah.
And which ones
CPA.
don't. Well,
I was told my accounting teacher told me I should be accounting major, and I was like, no, I do not want to do that for the rest of my life.
I know somebody that has their CPA, and excuse me, yeah, they're doing okay for themselves. And then I have another friend who is in the process of obtaining their CPA because obviously you have to have to get your CPA. You have to have taken so many accounting classes and have some sort of kind of accounting related degree, preferably actually accounting, but something accounting, finances, something like that.
Yeah, finance.
The key is, of course, how many credit hours in accounting you have.
Yeah.
And then you take a series, I think that's 4 tests.
I mean, I give them props.
Well, I've never met a CPA who's passed it first try.
Really?
Never. And so it's tough.
Yeah.
But,
I bet.
But in my search for jobs, having a degree in communications, a lot of times when I search for jobs, I just search for keyword communications. My emphasis was in media technology, so I start there, but then I'll pull back,
Yeah.
search for something and they say communications, and that you find yourself in a strange corner of the internet, and like, because I'll be looking at jobs, I'm like, I could do that, no problem. They're not going to call me back because they don't think I can do it, because
But I could.
because they're going to look at my resume and be like, Army, But um, anyways, I've looked at degrees where they say they want you to either well, they want you to at least have an accounting degree or even a CPA already, like,
Yeah.
or already work for that entity. I mean, but a CPA carries a lot of weight. And if it was something that I could just study up on and take the test and not worry about,
Well, if it was
having
something that I
the
could just
classes,
handle doing that's just not something. It wasn't fun, you know what I mean? And so it was
yeah.
just like I would not want to have to sit down and do that like 8 hours a day for my job. Like, just
Well,
would
but
not be
it's weird though, because
not the
like
dream life.
you, I mean, the people I know that have CPAs or getting CPAs, like, vastly different jobs. I mean, and I look at them, I'm like, I bet I could do that. Some of them I know there's no way, no way I could do it. I would sit down at the desk, go, nope, I'm gone. But that of course can be said about any job. I go into military funerals. I know plenty of people that they couldn't do that.
Yeah.
All I really do is fold a flag, but
Yeah, but so many people when I tell you like, or when I like tell them that I'm like, he's at a funeral. It's mainly when someone asks me where you are, and I'm like, oh, he's at a funeral, and then I'm like, oh, that's what he does, like, for his job, and then they're like, oh, I could never do that, and I don't know, I don't think about it anymore as like being weird or anything.
there've been plenty of times when I'm talking to somebody that doesn't know me too well, and maybe we're trying to make plans, and they go, well, hey, what are you doing tomorrow? I go, well, I gotta go to a funeral, and they're like, oh, I'm so sorry for your loss. I'm like, no,
Not my.
not my loss. I'm getting paid to be there, and yeah, always makes for a fun explanation.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of so I was encouraging you to get an internship, which is
Yay,
something I should have done.
internships.
For instance, the local television stations in Nashville, I've applied multiple times at all four of them, the ABC, NBC, CBS, and the Fox affiliates
Yeah.
in Nashville, and I mean, I never even get a call back because, and I found this out in talking to a few people, for those entry level positions, they all really, they only hire people that interned with them. And it's, to me, it's one of those things. I don't blame them. If I were a company, I don't blame them. But at the same time, I find it odd that I haven't even gotten in for an interview, like,
Yeah.
because I guarantee you that I have, really, I have the experience and the same qualifications that these other people
You
do.
just can't show them that as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean that's almost the same argument as in general as like the college degree. I feel like you should just have a camera on that chair.
it's funny you mentioned that on one of my previous episodes. I determined what would be great is if I could invest in a GoPro camera
For just Neville.
and attach it to Neville while he runs around during the podcast.
Oh my gosh.
And then it would be Neville Cam. And
That'd be fantastic.
yeah, if somebody,
If I had enough money, I would buy you one.
I was about to
so you
say,
could do
if
that.
somebody wants to become a producer on this wonderful podcast, all you have to do is either donate $300 to $400 or just buy me the camera and send that to me.
Neville Cam. That'd be
Neville
that'd be a
Cam.
wonderful segment. I would
And,
like that.
It would just be interspersed in between, while we're
Yeah,
talking
just randomly.
Neville Cam.
Neville Cam. Well, something that's exciting is that the College of Business at UTC has this accreditation. It's like AACSB or something like that, or some similar acronym. And only about 10% of business schools have the accreditation, including like big ones like Harvard and Yale, but also like UT Knoxville and some other like good universities. But it's a good thing to have, and like it's one of those things that like, so even though I didn't graduate from like Harvard or Yale, they'll be like, oh, University of UTC, tell me about that school, and I'll be like, well, that has this accreditation. They'll be like, okay. And so not only is that cool, but the like meeting for it or whatever, like the little team that comes to like make sure that we're like I think decides that we get the accreditation, like, again or whatever, is coming in like next week or the week after that. And I'm actually going to get to be one of the students that meets them and tells them about, because I'm in Society for Advancement of Management. And so I'm going to be like representing us, Society for Advancement of Management, shortly called SAM. But that doesn't make any sense when you say it to someone, you're like, oh yeah, I have SAM. And they're like,
okay, I can follow acronyms. The Army loves them. But what in the world does that actually mean?
Society for Advancement of Management. It's like basically, because like how you have like AMA, which is like it's the accounting. It's like accounting and blah blah blah. I don't know what the other two stand for.
So it's not a class. It's
not a class. It's
a society.
Yes, it's national.
Okay.
But
at first I thought you were talking about a class.
No, it's a business organization.
Okay.
And really, we're just as good as like AMA and like the like Beta Alpha Psi or whatever that honors thing is. Yep. We should be right up there with them, but we've just been really small at UTC. Like, we don't have very many members. Mm-hmm. Basically, our exec team has been the whole club. And so, but we're gaining, and we just had the speaker Weston Smith, which was he was involved. If you remember when Health South had the big fraud, it was a long time ago now, kind of, but he was the CFO for that company and was like involved in that. Ooh. Went to jail and everything, and so now he goes around talking about business ethics.
So he's like Michael Douglas from the Wall Street movie. not really.
Yeah, so that was really interesting, and we've been like trying to get bigger names and stuff like that coming in, and so now we're actually getting like represented, and so that's pretty exciting. So I've been secretary now for the like past year, I guess.
Secretary.
For
the Society for Advancement.
Yeah, and it's funny because we like don't even. Honestly, my position right now isn't even like necessary because we haven't done a whole lot of like business, if that makes sense. Like in meetings, like we're not very official yet, and so I'm just kind of been helping out with like everything in general. Just, but
I was the vice president of Phi Mu Alpha my last year as an active member.
I think I'm running for vice president of Residence Hall Association. Oh. Because I get a stipend for that if I get it. Cool. And I get make sure that I get housing for next year.
That's cool.
So that will be nice.
Past that, the last elected position I held was band president at our high school.
Nice. Band president.
I'm not much of one. Like, I don't know. I've first off, I haven't really been in too many groups where you elect officials, so to speak, and when I am, typically I have bigger priorities, and I know that, excuse me, that I would be wasting my time. Well, not wasting my time, but I know that I have other things to spend my time on, and that
priorities have just been. It's like really hard. Like I have to like pick and choose because like Gamma Phi Beta, I know I'll probably never be able to run for like an officer position or anything because I just do not have the time with all the other things because I have to prioritize. Like Gamma Phi Beta cost money, And like, do I have more time to commit to that, or RHA, which is gonna give me money? Like,
Well, and on top of that, it's so, you know, when you start putting things on your resume straight out of college, yeah, you should put like I was, even secretary for Society of Advancement of Management. I would put that because I mean they're going, okay, this person was holding down doing something, you
mm-hmm.
know, and then if I were in charge of hiring people, like saying they held an office in a fraternity or sorority, I'd be like, it,
I
it,
mean,
it
it's
would be
definitely a lot of work.
it would be a step up from somebody who didn't, but
It also
somebody who's
depend on what
holding
you
an
did.
office in other groups that aren't social groups, like RHA. There goes that camera. Like RHA and Sam. Like to me, that would be a step up from
Well, it also depends on
further.
like what area you're going.
Well, I mean, it does depend. Like, but it as far as jobs that you would be applying for,
yeah,
that would be a step
that's
up
the
from the
hope.
social group. It, but anyways, actually, as I pointed out, that camera has called it quits for the night, and we're pretty much out of time. Anyways, we uh we did not make it to a things that bug Arthur segment.
That's because I'm just so cool. I kept the conversation going.
Yeah,
Also, probably because you probably never met. Well, listeners or viewers or whatever have never met me. So
yeah,
because you've never had me on before.
yeah. Well, I mean, this is a reboot, so it's okay. The previous episodes are going to be the lost episodes. I have them, but that's it. And they were never filmed. So, anyways, thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
I, like normal, have no idea who's going to be on next week.
I don't know either.
At some point,
It'll be a mystery.
maybe you will join me again.
It's possible.
So, if you'll wave to the camera goodbye.